A white man broke my son's jaw in 1976. I broke that man's skull the same night. 49 years later, I'm the one who understands him. Not forgives, understands. There's a difference. And it took me half a century to learn it. My name is James Luther King. Yeah, I know. My mama had a sense of humor, or a sense of prophecy. I never figured out which. I've had two lives. The first one was Selma. Summers on my grandmama's porch. Chalk dust on my fingers. 22 years teaching first grade at Southside Elementary. My boy Marcus learning to ride a bicycle in the front yard while I stood there holding a glass of sweet tea, thinking I had it all figured out. The second life started on November 14th, 1976. I killed a man that night. I'll get to that. But that's 4 sentences out of 84 years, and I didn't sit down here to talk about 4 sentences. These hands used to write on a chalkboard. ABC, 1, 2, 3, cat, dog. Sun, simple words for simple truths. Now they shake too much to hold a pencil steady, but the truths got bigger, and I reckon that's why I'm sitting here talking to you. Selma in 1970. You ever walk into a room that smells like chalk and floor wax and peanut butter sandwiches? That's what my classroom smelled like. Every morning for 22 years. Room 14, second floor, window facing the oak tree in the schoolyard. I had 28 kids every year. First graders, 6 years old. Coming in with their lunchboxes and their shoes untied and their eyes as big as the whole world. And I'd stand up there and I'd write the letter A on the board, and 28 little mouths would go, A, all together like a choir that couldn't carry a tune. You don't think about those mornings when you're living them.
You think about the paycheck, which wasn't much.
You think about the car that needs a new alternator. You think about whether the church fundraiser is gonna cover the roof this year. You don't think this is it. This is the best part. Right here, this chalk, these kids, this oak tree. My boy Marcus was 11 and 76, tall for his age, quiet. Had his mama's eyes, Doreen's eyes, big and brown and always watching. He'd come by the school after his classes let out and sit in my room while I graded papers. Wouldn't say much, just sat there drawing pictures. Dinosaurs mostly. He loved dinosaurs. I had a wife who sang in the kitchen. I had a boy who drew dinosaurs. I had a classroom full of children who trusted me to teach them the alphabet. And I had no idea at all, that I was the richest man in Alabama. October 1976, Marcus came home from the grocery store with a broken jaw and 2 cracked ribs. A man named Dale Everett had beat him in the parking lot, called him a word I won't say in front of this camera. Marcus was 11 years old carrying a bag of groceries for his mama. I found Dale Everett outside Hank's bar that same night. I hit him with a tire iron. He died 2 days later at Vaughn Memorial. They gave me life. I was a teacher who forgot everything he taught. That's the shortest version of the longest story I know. The first 10 years I was fire. Not just angry, righteous. You understand the difference? Angry is when somebody cuts you off in traffic. Righteous is when the whole road was built to run you over. I knew that Dale Everett got what was coming. That every Dale Everett in every parking lot in America had it coming. And I'd have done it again, gladly, proudly. I read Malcolm. I read Eldridge Cleaver. I joined a group in here, I won't name them. We talked about the system, about power, about how every wall in this place was built by men who looked like me and guarded by men who didn't. And the anger felt good, like armor, like the only honest thing left. But armor gets heavy, even the righteous kind. Somewhere around year 12, the fire went out. Didn't go out with a bang. Went out the way a candle goes when you forget about it. Just wasn't angry anymore. Wasn't anything anymore. Got up. 80. Walked the yard. 80. Slept. Got up. Same thing. Same walls. Same ceiling. Same face in the mirror getting older and not knowing why it bothered. Doreen stopped visiting in 89. Didn't blame her. Marcus sent letters for a while. Then he didn't. Didn't blame him either. I was a man behind glass. You can't hold your son through glass. You can't teach him to shave through glass. You can't be a father through glass. You can just be a face that gets older. Those were the gray years. The nothing years. I could have died in there and not noticed the difference. But then a guard, white man, name of Hoskins, he asked me if I'd help with the GED classes. Said they needed somebody who could read above a 6th grade level. And I remember thinking, what's it matter? But I said yes, because I didn't have a reason to say no. Teaching again saved me. Wasn't quick, wasn't dramatic, it was slow. Like sunrise, you don't see it happen, but then you look up and the room's got light in it. I was teaching a young man named Curtis how to read. He was 23, white kid from up in Huntsville, methamphetamine conviction. Couldn't read the word because. I sat with him for 4 months, 3 days a week. Because, and one Tuesday he read a whole paragraph out loud without stopping. And he looked at me, this white boy from Huntsville looked at me, and he said, "Mr. King, you're the first person who ever gave a damn whether I could read." That's when the ice cracked. Not broke, cracked. Because I realized I'd been carrying Dale Everett around in my chest for 20 years like a stone. And the stone wasn't hurting Dale. Dale was dead. The stone was crushing me. I picked up Dr. King's letters, the other King, the one my mama named me after. I read Mandela. I read Baldwin. And Baldwin wrote something that I carry in my chest now instead of that stone. He wrote that hate is a cage. That when you hate somebody, you've given them the keys. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he meant. Took me 20 years to put that stone down. Some days I still pick it up and hold it for a while, but I always put it back. You want to know what 49 years taught me? I'll tell you 3 things, and I need you to hear me. Not listen, hear. There's a difference. First thing, anger. Anger is a match. You strike it and it's useful. Lights the stove, lights the candle, shows you where you're going in the dark. But if you hold on to that match, if you grip it tight and refuse to let go, it burns through the wood, through the sulfur, and into your fingers, and then into your hand. And then you're standing in the dark anyway, except now you're burned. I held that match for 20 years. I was angry at the right things. I was angry at a man who broke an 11-year-old's jaw for being black in a grocery store parking lot. I was angry at a system that gave me life for doing what any father on this planet would have done. I was angry at a world that built the match and then punished me for holding it. And I was right to be angry. That's the part nobody tells you. You can be right and still be burning. You can be justified and still be destroyed. The anger doesn't care if you're right. It eats you the same way. So let me ask you something. What are you angry about right now? Right now, today? Who's living rent-free in your chest? Because they don't feel it. I promise you, Dale Everett didn't feel 1 second of my rage. He was dead before my first year was up, but I carried him for 2 decades. Put the match down. I don't care if you're right. Put it down. Second thing, seeing people. I grew up in Selma, Alabama in the 1940s and 50s. I'm not gonna paint you a picture. You know what that looked like. Separate water fountains. Back of the bus. Yes, sir, to every white face, whether it deserved it or not. I grew up knowing in my bones before I knew the word for it, that some people didn't see me. They saw a color, a category, a thing to step around. And you know what 49 years in here taught me? I was doing the same thing. I looked at Dale Everett and I saw a category. I looked at the guards and I saw a category. I looked at Curtis, the boy I taught to read. And for the first 3 weeks, I saw a category. Blindness ain't just for the people who hate you. Blindness is for everybody. It's the easiest thing in the world to look at a person and see a label. Takes no effort at all. Seeing the person, that takes work. That takes years. That takes losing everything you thought you knew. I'm not telling you we're all the same. We're not. I'm not telling you the world is fair. It's not. I'm telling you that every person you walk past today is carrying something you can't see. And maybe, just maybe, if you slow down long enough to notice, you might learn something you didn't know you needed. Last thing, and this is the one I need you to carry out of here. Time. I've been alive for 30,660 days, free for about 12,775 of them. And I spent most of those free days doing what you're doing right now. Waiting for the weekend, waiting for the raise, waiting for things to get better, waiting for someday. Someday is a thief. Someday is the pickpocket that takes your wallet while you're looking at the sky. I had a wife who sang in the kitchen. Did I tell you that? Doreen. She'd hum. Not a song, just this little sound, like a hum that didn't need a melody. And I'd sit at the table grading papers and I'd think, I'll take her dancing on Friday. I'll tell her she's beautiful on Saturday. I'll hold her hand at church on Sunday. I never took her dancing, not once. I had 1,000 Fridays and I used 0 of them. You got somebody you love? Call them. Today, not tomorrow. Not when things calm down. Not when you're less busy. Today. Because I'm sitting in this chair at 84 years old and I would trade every single thing I know, every lesson, every word of wisdom, every book I ever read, for one Friday night with Doreen. One slow dance in the kitchen while she hummed. You got time. Don't you dare waste it the way I did. I'm 84 years old. I've got arthritis in both hands and a cataract in my left eye and a heart that skips a beat every now and then. The doctor says it's nothing, but I think it's just tired, like the rest of me. Marcus came to see me last year. First time in 11 years. He's 60 now. 60. My boy who drew dinosaurs is 60 years old with gray hair and reading glasses. He sat where you're sitting and he didn't say much. Just sat there. Like he used to sit in my classroom, and after about 20 minutes he said, "I forgive you, Dad." I didn't say anything. Because what do you say to that? What do you say to your son who grew up without a father because his father chose a tire iron over a telephone call to the police? I chose rage over patience. I chose being right over being present. I'm grateful, not for this place, not for these walls. I'm grateful I lived long enough to hear my son say those words. Most men in here don't get that. Most men in here die before their children finish being angry. I was a teacher. My whole life I taught people things. ABC, 1, 2, 3, how to read, how to write your name. And after 49 years in this cell, I finally learned the only lesson that matters. I wasted my freedom being angry. Don't waste yours being blind.